We got hards on. We're going to the end.
We got Hards on. It's the Hard On podcast. We're talking Catalonia. We're talking Spain. We're talking the Grand Prix. It was a good time. It was a great time. I'll have you know, long are the days. Long gone are those days. Those dog days are over, right? But we used to have to watch the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm acting like I'm a true vet, right? But I'm talking about basically a couple years. Essentially a track where you drive around, you catch over the entire lap, but then if you don't nail the final chicane, guess what? You're just spending the next lap doing the same thing. I don't know why, but they changed that final corner. It feels like Catalonia kind of just got fun. It's actually a decent track, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Outside of just good overtaking, by the way, though, because we had a really good race recently, Canada. Outside of just like a good race, right? I mean, to be honest, I say good race. Like if I actually go to qualifying to the actual result, I mean, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth all finished where they started, and everyone else only moved like two positions at most, three in the case of Perez, but he's in a Red Bull and he started P11. Aside from that, it was actually a good race. But aside from that as well, double down. It was just radios were good. They were spicy. There was good like storylines and rivalry and outside sort of narratives going on that just made me go, oh wow, I like this. And we're gonna get into it. We got three sectors. We got sector one, which is what is sector one? Rate my quali. We're gonna rate it out of 10. You know, pretty standard, pretty normal. Then we got the race rundown. We're gonna talk about the race. Again, pretty standard in a Formula One podcast. And then we got the soft, medium, hard awards. That's pretty self-explanatory. Over the course of the weekend, soft, medium, and hard. That's not a innuendo. Now, rate my quali. It's a 9. I'm pretty sure last weekend, which was actually 2 weekends ago, which I believe was Canada, I gave that a 10. You don't get much better than that. This is a 9. I don't really remember why. I think it's because there was no huge names out early. I think Canada, you had Alonso go out pretty early. You had Perez go out pretty early. That's kind of just normality now. Perez kind of goes out early every week. To be fair, he got into Q3 this time, so everyone, that's big round of applause for Perez. I don't know why. It's actually kind of mean to be so mean to Perez. I know he's like really underperforming, but Perez is probably one of the nicest guys on planet Earth. So I actually feel bad. But at the same time, it's just so easy that I'm stuck between a rock and a Perez place. But yeah, it was exciting though. I think a lot of it probably came down to the fact that my favourites came out on top. Favourites sort of being Norris was on pole. I know we're going to get into some real Norris chat here because I think it's an absolute joke and needs to be called out, and I'll get to that. But Norris on pole, Hamilton out qualified Russell. That, oh my God, the simple things in life, you know what I mean? Inject that straight into my veins. Hamilton out qualifying Russell. Like, that shouldn't be something I get so gassed about. You could argue, oh, how the mighty have fallen. But just, it's been long. It's been long. You know. But the sun will shine on us again, brother. And yeah, he out-qualified Russell, and that gave me great joy. It was all close towards the end. You know, like, it was all, I mean, I think actually the final times was a bit bigger, but there was like a real close gap between like first and sixth and stuff, and it was exciting. It felt like it could be anyone's game, but ultimately, it kind of felt like, oh, Verstappen's just 2 tenths ahead of everyone, and that's why it was so sick when Lando pulls out the lap he does. And this is the thing, I think Lando pulled out like good lappage, real good timeage, right? And really did something cool. But I just feel like everyone's like watering it down on Lando's weekend and just going, immediately it's like McLaren has the fastest car and Lando isn't winning races. What an overrated asshole, or something like that. And it's like, if Lando has got the fastest car, it's not by like miles and miles. People are like, Jesus Christ, this guy is so overrated. Got the fastest car and he can't even convert his pole and this and that. And it's just like, look, we look at Verstappen and we go, oh, Verstappen's not even in the fastest car anymore and he's still managing to deliver. I mean, look where Perez has the car. And it's like, look where Piastri had the car this weekend. You know, if we're going to compare Verstappen to his teammate, like Verstappen's a good, compare Norris to Piastri, and Piastri's really good. And I think we'd all agree Piastri is doing a better job in the McLaren than Perez is doing in the Red Bull right now. And the gap is still big between the two. Like, we don't know the proper gap, because Perez at the moment is not driving professional. Like, he's driving a little bit amateur, and we can see that through the data. And if you look at the immediate data, he's going out in Q1 a lot, right? And that would suggest maybe not getting the most out of the car. So to say, oh, look how big the gap is between Verstappen, to acknowledge that Verstappen is so goated, because, you know, and the fact that Perez didn't massively cut through the field. You know, Piastri finished P7, Perez finished P8. It's like the gap is between Perez to Verstappen is like the same spacage between Piastri to Norris. Norris didn't convert the pole, but ultimately it's not down to a poor race or a massively bottled moment. Got a shit start. Happens to everyone. You'll get shit starts. And like, if that McLaren is so overpowered and so much better than the Red Bull, then even with the shit start, and I know he got caught behind Russell as well, which is what held him back, but even through that, he still would have been closer. I think if the car being quicker, Norris even admitted that, marginally, not massively. It's not. People are acting like the gap is as big as it was for Verstappen to the rest of the field last year. That's how big the gap is, and it's like he randomly gets the quickest car from weekend. You don't know when you're going to have the quickest car. It's like, oh, this weekend we happen to have the quickest car type thing. You kind of, it falls into your lap. It's not just like he has just been the quickest man this year, and also he's moved up into P2 in the constructors table. There's a lot of good things going for him. Didn't get the win here. Yeah, sure. Got the monkey off the back of season and did get a win in general. Wasn't even that long ago. I've noticed a lot of Lando slander recently, and I just find it weird. But like, that's how it goes. It's very hard to be unanimously liked. Like, it's really tricky. And to a certain extent, that's why I feel for Russell, because it's like, he is, you know, a victim. He's suffering from success in a weird way. He was liked and appreciated when he was down in the coal mines, covered in sort of smog or whatever it is called, right? And filth and muck, crying because he got a single point for Williams. And the second, you know, he gets the riches, rags to riches story, we love to like bring these people up, and the second they're in there, knock them down. And more importantly, it's not just that he's got the riches, but that he's got the riches and he's currently sitting in Hamilton's throne type thing. And you don't want to, you know, if everyone's likable until it's at the detriment of Hamilton's happiness. And speaking of Hamilton, who's sending emails to Mercedes? These conspiracy theories turned to reality. It's mental, it's crazy. And I don't know. They never really clarified if this was a legitimate geezer, like, who had broken things down, or geezette, you know, but if this is just like a Stan account who got an email they shouldn't have and put together a well-formed, you know, PowerPoint. I don't know, but I'm not going to lie to you. It did make movements, and stars changed, and the orbit of the sun and the tectonic plates moved. Whatever it was, it kind of did change something, even just by chance or luck or just coincidence, right? Like, he actually didn't have a massive drop off in pace in qualifying. For some reason, Russell was getting shagged in all types of ways this weekend. He went on a weird strategy that maybe that was his own fault. He got a bad pit stop and stuff, and you know, everything was coming up Hamilton, and it's like that maybe just by chance, I don't know. But even like the admin of the Mercedes account, all of a sudden Hamilton's in the banner or whatever. They got his car shining. You know, we're getting Hamilton's post rate, because you know people keep up to date with all that stuff, is through the roof. So maybe this is a change in the guard, because Russell, considering how much Russell has dominated Hamilton, even saying that kind of hurt this season, right? At the end of this weekend, there is like a 9 points difference between them. So after all of that domination, it could literally be wiped out in like by the end of Silverstone. But we will see. Did anything else happen in quali? Russell was pissed at Hamilton, which doesn't. Russell was pissed about something which I need explaining because I don't get it. It was like Hamilton set like a lap, went P2. Russell set a lap, went P3, and Russell jumps on the radio and goes, "Fuck's wrong with this guy? What's he prepping for?" or something like that. And it's like, these guys don't care, obviously. But when you refer to Hamilton as this guy and you're swearing, you know, that's an easy way to get the army against you. The army against you. You know, these armies, Lewis Hamiltons, the Swifties of the world, you know, BTS at one point. And they've kind of fallen off. Let's be honest. But these groups of people, you should be scared, because they'll fuck you up, right? Lance Stroll, kind of apparently on purpose, whatever, drives into the side of Hamilton and is like, "What's the fuck?" He literally what's like this idiot doing in the way here? As if Hamilton is just like Logan Sargent, Not that everyone has to address him as sir and kiss his feet, right? But it's kind of mad. The disrespect is kind of crazy. It was all close. We all know this. After quali, actually, this was kind of fun because sometimes it's like straight up lip reading, and you're like, okay, lip readers, chronically online, brain rot fans, go get some fresh air. Go touch. It doesn't have to be grass. Just at least open the window and get some fresh air type thing, right? But this time it wasn't even lip reading. You could just hear what they were saying. Max Verstappen, right? I'm trying to be like sassy. Max Verstappen, gossip queen. He doesn't even care the cameras are literally this far from his face. He's talking to Norris and he's like, oh my God, can you believe it? Like, Leclerc didn't even get a penalty. And Hamilton's like, Russell, God, you're getting old. He's like my 20 children. I can't even get their names right. I'm going through every single... Norris is like, what? And Hamilton's like, oh my fucking God. Verstappen's like, look, I'm basically gossiping now. Verstappen was like, and Hamilton was like, and then Norris was like. But basically Verstappen's trying to tell Norris, like, Leclerc didn't even get a penalty. Like a little gossip queen. He literally is like, today Leclerc didn't even get a penalty. Yeah, and he like fully broke Norris's front wing. He only got a reprimand. XOX, gossip girl. XOX, Maxi. I don't know if Max has any sort of nicknames, but it was real sort of going around like he's stirring that pot. He's like, yeah, like if I was you, I really wouldn't take that. But that's just Max. We love to see it. I just love. To me, it was more just like the audacity to like the cameras are literally right here, and he's just spilling tea. And another thing, before we get into the race rundown, I'm sweating right now. The other thing getting into the race rundown, we just got to talk about, which I found mildly amusing, was Logan Sargent got a 3-place grid penalty. Which giving grid penalties to a man who is perpetually in last place is just like we might as well give him, just for the sake of it, just for pretending that he was going to be better this year, just for that they should give him a 5-place grid penalty every race. It wouldn't make a difference, because here's a fun fact, you can't get lower than last, so there's that it's irrelevant information. It comes out in like a whole statement, document, official news, breaking, right? And it's like water's wet, it's like your air conditioning's broken and it's the middle of summer, but it's an igloo and it's in Antarctica. It's like, oh, whoa, big news. Oh, it's Sergeant. You know what I mean? You kind of get what I'm trying to say. Into the race, we got to talk about it. And I'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. Lando Norris doesn't get a great start. People go, oh, he's bottled it. He's lost it. Because, here's the thing. Especially with sort of English fans and culture, we only have so much like within us that we can hand out. And that runs very thin, very fast. And essentially, we like you on the come up, but as soon as you're sort of being mentioned on the upper level, we don't like you anymore. You don't seem relatable. We want to bring you back down to earth, and that's kind of what's happening with Lando Norris. All of a sudden, he's overrated and stuff. Doesn't get a great start. All of a sudden, he's a massive bottle job. And obviously it comes with inconsistencies, because the immediate like example is Leclerc. Leclerc can finish on pole 1,200 times and never win, which he basically did for a long time. And he's the sweetest angelical being that no one can harm. And I'm not saying he should be harmed. I'm not saying anyone should harm Charles Leclerc. What I am saying is that, and maybe it's because Norris is a little bit more, ratty. No, he's not ratty. He's like he's like a little prince, or whatever. He gets a little bit mean on the radios. Although that's the thing of a past. On radios now, he's very chill. Like, what did he say? Like, towards the end of the race, this was they're like, oh, do you reckon you can overtake Hamilton? He's going pretty quick, and you'll come up behind if he stay out for much longer. Do you reckon you'll overtake him? And he's like, yeah, I'll overtake him. It's kind of similar to when Ocon said something like, watch this, and then like never overtook Hulkenberg or something. In like a race, I think that was this year or maybe just the end of last year. Norris is like, yeah, I'll overtake him. What was that? Oh, Hamilton just had the fastest lap, and then he radios back in like, actually, what do you guys think? Because I'll be going for the win here. Like, quickly backtrack that, you know what I mean? But like, his radios have got a lot more chill. But maybe that's just something he won't shake for a while. But like, I don't know. If Piastri was like really neck and neck with him right now, I would get it maybe a little bit more. But this whole like Norris is in a way faster car and he's bottling everything and he's mid. He shouldn't even be compared to Max. It's like, yeah, Max is better. Whoa! Breaking news! Breaking news! Max Verstappen is a better driver. Whoa! But like, Norris being overrated or shit. Bro's only got one window. Like, bro's talking about his best pole. Bro's only got 2 poles. Like, it's a flip of the coin. Like, bro talking like he's like he's one of the bros, bro. It's like, brother, he's kind of bodying Piastri pretty comfortably. A lot of people coming into the season saying, oh, Piastri's really going to put the pressure on Norris. Oh, Piastri's going to show he's the guy. And I thought, everyone going on about Norris like he's 35. Like, oh, Piastri's going to do so much better because Piastri's a young guy. He's like a year or 2 younger than Norris. Norris is also still young. So Norris is also going to be improving at a similar rate or maybe a quicker rate than Piastri will be improving. So, like, it doesn't just mean, what are you talking about? And this season's kind of shown, no, I'm the guy. He's the highest he's ever been in the stand and he's second right now. And it's like, baby steps, right? He's never disrespected Hamilton, so I don't know what he's done wrong to piss off an entire F1 fandom, but they seem to just sort of not love Norris right now. I've been seeing a lot of discourse around that if the McLarens have the best driver lineup, because that's been started been made fun of recently. Apparently that's a laughable take now. Apparently it's a laughable take to say McLaren don't have the best driver lineup. Whether if you agree with that or not, that's your opinion, but it's not laughable. Laughable would be Logan Sargent and Alex Albon. Yeah, sure. If you're trying to claim that one, yeah, that's laughable. Or Gasly and Ocon, French Civil War. Yeah, laughable. What if your opinion is that it's Sainz Leclerc, if it's that it's Hamilton, Russell, or if it's Verstappen and literally whoever, Justin Timberlake, DUI, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who's in the car. Then, sure. But you could all make an argument for all of them. I don't know where this is all came from. I don't know why. I don't even want Piastri to be getting hate. Piastri's, like, not even really doing a bad job. He just had a rough couple of weeks. Like, Piastri's still the guy. I still really rate Piastri. It's just the nature of, not even Formula 1, but just life. And I don't know what it's like in most countries, but especially England, that's how it's going to be. It could be worse. It could be George Russell, because I know he gets it a lot harsh. If you look through George Russell's comments, it's just like people being like, "Fuck you, Hamilton, clear. You've ruined, just mean stuff." But anyway, Norris bad start. Through goes Russell. Goes out on the outside. He has the lead, and he just he has this thing. He doesn't even know what he has in his hands. He has the lead, right, of a race, and never give George Russell the lead. Don't give our baby a bomb type thing. Russell with a lead, he will shut the bed. He will have a nosebleed. And Verstappen just swiftly took it out of his hands. I'll take that, thank you. And immediately overtakes him. And this is kind of where Norris lost his race. And all of a sudden Norris has to go into like Magneto sort of, which is the other guy, Professor X. Is that his name? Professor X? That better not be a porn star or something. That's the guy's name, right, in X-Men? It would make sense, X-Men. But he's like Sherlock, he's like seeing multiple futures at once, like how many do we win, you know, type thing. And like he's trying to work out, like, if I extend the thing here and I do that, maybe I can catch him at the end. And fuck Russell, I'm going for the win, just to try and like claw back the win. And to be fair, he finished the race like 2 seconds behind, a couple more laps, probably gets in DRS and overtakes. Didn't have a couple more laps, so lost those couple laps because he didn't get the overtake. And that is the cut and dry of it. He came out, he was very honest about that. He's very honest about the fact he fucked it. He's not here trying to claim anything. And you know, you win some and you learn from others. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And some people would argue he's not learning from his mistakes. When will he learn? How old is Norris again? He's like 24. Relax. You know? Anyway, roller max. That didn't work. But yeah. Verstappen goes straight past. It's candy from a baby. It is tea and scones from a George Russell. It is really tight chinos from a George Russell. You know? It's polite ways of saying swear words from a George Russell. You know, it's all that stuff. Sugar honey iced tea. See you next Tuesday. Oh, Jenkins. Oh, holy moly. You know all the stuff George loves. It was candy from a baby. He takes the lead from with ease. And, you know, that was that. And that was the race for a while. We go forward. Leclerc and Sainz fight. Okay. Hidden drama. Maybe not a lot of people are talking about. Everyone's talking about it. What we're talking about. People find lost footage. It's like the lost footage films, right? It's like Project X, but Formula One. I'm seeing what is essentially 120p filmed out of someone's asshole, backwards angle, right? Of Leclerc and Sainz having a bit of a dispute, like, yo, you overtook me, and like I'm like the number one driver here, and you're like, this is not Leclerc's voice, but like, you overtook me, racing incident or whatever, you kind of damaged my front wing, what the fuck. And he even said in an interview type thing, something along the lines of, do I have it here? What he said, he said, I know you're at your home race. No, that was my like version of what he said. I don't have what he actually said, but he said something along the lines of like, I know this is like big for you, but you know, this is a classy party. He basically like dug him out on like national television. He hung his, you know, skid marked underwear out to dry. I don't even know if that's even a good analogy. It's not. But you know, he was just straight up like, yeah, I get you're excited because you're in Spain and you're like Spanish apparently. Apparently that's what your accent is or whatever. Apparently you're like a Spaniard, but like doesn't give you the right to drive like Logan Sargent. It doesn't give you the right to drive like shit. And that's what he said. And this race, Sainz drove like that on Leclerc, which I don't have an opinion either way if it was good or bad. I don't think I can even remember the incident. And felt no fault with that. Then had that move with that little tap with Lewis Hamilton, where he thought Hamilton should have been beheaded on the spot. And obviously no one had a problem with it. A lot of people were saying they really loved the move and shit. So yeah, I think Sainz gets a little bit I don't know. I mean, no driver really ever admits that they make a mistake or that they're wrong about something. So it's not really a Sainz specific thing. But what I will say is that yeah, you know, our survey says, you know, everyone's sort of disagreeing with him on a lot of things this weekend. Let's just say that. Norris, to win that race, he would have had to have landed every crit hit, every multiplier, every sort of speed boost, every, you know, he had everything just to even get a chance to have, you know, a go at the final boss. That would have been Max Verstappen. Just to even open the castle gate doors, you know, and it wasn't to be. And it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. Perez and Piastri at the moment kind of stinking up the gaff. I mean, Piastri not in an obvious way. He's just had a couple bad weekends. But they're two little treacherous twins at the moment, just sort of fucking up the joint in the midfield. Sort of both started pretty far back, didn't make massive ground. I don't know. Big weekends coming up. This is like a triple header, right? And we're going into Austria. My personal favourite, as of right now, I'm pretty sure Austria is my favourite. And they have a sprint race there as well. it's the Grand Prix of deleted times or whatever, which I actually like. It's a bit interesting, adds another element. And then they go Silverstone, so it's like, these are 2 big weeks for both of those. I think if Piastri has another bad 2 weeks, there's gonna start to be a discourse around him, which I don't even like the idea of. It's like I don't want to even entertain the idea of Piastri being like scrutinized by. I just hate it. I would hate to even imagine it. It just makes me sad to even think about. Norris George fight was great because here's one of the things as well. I think Norris is at the end a little bit hated, is that he was at least really loved, and a lot of people go into the sport through Lando because he kind of opened the sport up to be like by streaming and stuff, and people on YouTube and that, and like doing stuff outside of the sport. He like, well, that that happening alongside, can't think of the word, Drive to Survive. So that also brought fans in. People really like Lando in that way, find him relatable in that. And then they started to find him a little bit annoying, trying to be funny all the time or whatever. And then the fact that people really like him and give him love, let's say. For example, he always wins Driver of the Day, and today he gets Driver of the Day. Well, it was a few days ago, but like gets Driver of the Day, and people think, why has he got Driver of the Day? He started pole and he fucked it up, type thing. I don't think that helps. I think that makes people want to call him overrated more when people just always vote for him for Driver of the Day, like non-stop. That shouldn't be a thing. Although the overtake on Norris was great. I don't care if it was technically the best overtake. People were really loving Hamilton's. I don't get the science behind overtakes and what makes one good. But all I know is if it's going through multiple corners, odds on, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, it was great. Loved it. I feel like we haven't seen enough of that this year. Just overtakes that just keep going. They just don't end, man. And ultimately Norris was the one who came out on top, which is probably why I like the overtake more. But yeah, you love to see it. George Russell went on the hards towards the end, and Hamilton was on the softs, meaning he had the tyre advantage going into being able to overtake him. And I was shitting myself for a little bit because the gap didn't come down for like a couple of laps, even though it was going down really fast, and it stood for a couple of laps. And I was like, oh, I need Hamilton on this podium more than a lot of things that doctors would tell me I need to live, aka oxygen and water. Right, I needed it really badly, and I got it. But like I was really shutting my fucking pants for a second when I thought he wasn't gonna get it, and I don't know. I actually don't know why George went on hards. If it was because he busted up his soft tires in quali or earlier in the race by pushing too hard, or like he did something so it was his own fault, or if he asked for hards, if they put him on hards, if he got fucked by the team. I don't know what happened. All I know is he was on hards, and Hamilton towards the end was kind of like, I don't know who told him to go on hards, because I would never choose hards here. Hards suck. I was always going on the softs. So like, get did type thing. He was just kind of like, yeah, and then he lounged his old spine on the sofa, just listening to Bob Marley apparently, which of course he was. I bet I was listening to Three Little Birds, just back on the podium, happy as Larry with his shit-eating grin, just taking selfies of the drivers. I need to see Hamilton back on number one on that podium real soon. That will hit like crack. And I'm not even like the hugest Hamilton guy, but like even for me, I'm like, this will hit like, what's better than this? Will hit like a truck full of crack. I don't even know, man. But yeah, the Hamilton email, that was crazy. We spoke about that. Out qualifying George pads bit stop, George on hards, Hamilton on podium, Hamilton graphics on Twitter. It's just everything sort of went backwards and forwards. 2 years. All I say about Spain is 2 years. 2 years of no safety cars on this track, not even any yellow flags. Good track, overtaking's improved. Now we need to improve the drama. We got to spice it up, Spain. Add some chilies. That's what I would say. Chuck on some banana peels. Chuck some green shells on track. Let's sort of do some... let's get the oil out. Let's loosen some drain covers. Shh, don't tell anyone. Let's do some, because the best tracks, they have those. They have that about them. But yeah, next up we all got Austria. Like I said, it is my favorite track. It is my favorite track. And that's up for debate. Not up for debate, but that's up to change. I'm not loyal. If another track wants to present itself and say, hey, pick me, I'll be open to offers. But what I will say is, for now and at least last year, maybe the year before, Austria's sort of stepped forward and said, hey, I'm the track for you, and you know, I look forward to it. Daniel and Yuki, their car was, you know, pointless this weekend, but Daniel did finish the race ahead of Yuki, so I could at least feel some way satisfied about that, I guess. Again, not because I don't like Yuki, but because I really need this for Daniel. When he's writing on the back of his helmet shit like, you know, it ain't over till it's over, and like, they'll never take me alive, and all this type of shit, it makes me worried, because it makes me feel like there's imminent, you know, death, you know, on its way, impending doom. Like, you know, I just, whenever I see him do these things, it just makes me think of Monaco. Like, I own these straights or whatever, and he's getting lapped by Lando in Monaco. Like, it worries me. So yeah, as long as we're getting he's getting more comfortable, more consistent. We like to see it. We love to see it. But yeah, on to Austria. I'm sputtering. It's too hot, and I got a jumper on. I make poor life decisions. Hards on. We got hards on. We'll go into the end. Next one, Austria. See you next week.